Hi folks, it's Steve here from Analytics in Action. What I want to do today is give you a bit of a demo on how to create cloud-based scorecards and dashboards using Tibco Spotfire. And this is the first, probably a series of tutorials, and this will just really cover off the basics. So as an overview, I'll talk about what's the goal of this tutorial, what is Tibco, since it's not a particularly well-known product yet, then what's covered in the tutorials, and I'll also provide some additional learning resources on analytics and reporting. So in terms of the goal of the tutorial, it's really about just creating a cloud-based dashboard with Tibco Spotfire Silver, which is Tibco's cloud-based reporting solution. That's a fairly new product. So basically, in terms of what it looks like, it's this is a simple scorecard or dashboard that I've created. You can have multiple tabs, different sorts of formats. So you can have things like bar charts, vertical bar charts, horizontal bar charts, pie charts, you name it. Things like cross tabs. You can apply. So these are actually called cross tables, but this is essentially like a cross tab query or a pivot table. And you can apply conditional formatting and formatting rules in the background. And then you can do all sorts of things like applying filters in the background. It's all very, very nice. Runs looks like it runs with in-memory sort of storage and background, so it's fairly snappy once it's started up. Fairly quick. So what I'll do is really just show you how to create the scorecard, and it's quite a nice solution. So what I'll do is I'll show you how to import data, create bar charts, creating averages on those bar charts, creating pie charts, pages or dashboards with multiple graphics on them, page filters, how to create multiple pages or tabs, how to create text boxes so you can put text information on these scorecards, cross tables with totals, with conditional formatting, how to create a landing page for your dashboard, then how to share the dashboard via the web and refresh and update it. Cool, so that's what I'll cover off. In terms of what is Tibco, or who is Tibco in terms of a company, it's quite a well-established company. It's been around for a number of years, and they have a turnover about $1 billion odd. They have a revenue of about $1 billion a year, so they're a pretty big company. They do a whole range of business software solutions, and the BI stuff is sort of a subset of that. Whenever I look at a analytical solution, I like to sort of look at what the third-party research says. And so what when I heard about Tibco, I had a look at the Gartner 2012 Magic Quadrant results for business intelligence, and Tibco do perform fairly well. So they're up there with a lot of these big name players, these multi-billion dollar companies like Microsoft and Oracle, and they feature fairly well. So there are a number of really good features, I guess, associated with this Spotfire Silver Cloud solution that I like. Users could create and share visualizations without having to install software on premises. So it's a software as a service type cloud solution. It's really focused on end user visualization. So rather than pushing out very static reports to users, which in some ways I sort of feel like that's what a lot of, say, reporting services reports are like in Microsoft, particularly if they don't have an OLAP cube sitting underneath the bottom. So they're nice and interactive. It's a really easy, intuitive tool to pick up, Spotfire, and it's mobile friendly, which is nice. Again, it's somewhere where I think Microsoft is lagging. I'm sure they've got a strategy around it, but the reality is they haven't got anything very compelling out in the marketplace as of April 2012. And it has a in-memory engine in the background. I suppose when I might just go back and qualify about some of the mobile-friendly stuff in relation to the Microsoft products. You can sort of view things like Power View, which is the new reporting services visualization on mobile sort of devices, but it's still not quite the same as something that's been purpose-built for, and that's the same thing with reporting services. In terms of the Gartner Magic Quadrant results, the only sort of caution that I sort of noticed that they gave was that typically most organizations don't use it as a platform type tool. It's quite often used within departments or across multiple departments. As I said, it's not really too big a issue because it's so economically priced. So in this demo, I'm just going to use the free version, which is sort of free for, you get to use it for a year. I assume after that it turns off. There are some limitations with this personal version. You can only store 50 megs of data in the background, which is sort of quite a bit. They say it's sort of limited to circa 10,000 rows, but I assume 10,000 rows is, unless there's lots and lots of columns, you get way more rows than that in 50 megs. So yeah, online data storage, security around web sharing, so you can have password protected access, and you've got you can import data via Excel. So it has a lot of these really nice basic versions, and it's a suitable sort of tool to at least get up to speed with. At least the personal version is. I think once you want to sort of deploy something like this within a commercial environment, you're probably going to start looking at this publisher version, which you're looking at about $1,000 a year, although in some cases the personal plus version would probably cut it. So as I said, it's a nice economical tool, has some really nice features about it, and that's sort of why I've been playing around with it a little bit lately. So what I'm going to do is cover the development of a online dashboard, probably spread across 3 tutorials. So the first one, I'm going to cover off the importing data, the bar charts, creating averages on those bar charts, pie charts, multiple graphics on a page, and filters. So that's really the core sort of functionality. Then in the second tutorial, I'll talk about multiple pages and tabs on the dashboard, creating text boxes, using cross tables, and also applying conditional formatting. Then in the final tutorial, I'll talk about creating landing pages, sharing the dashboard via the web, and also the update refresh process. Okay, so the first step here is to get data into the tool. So I'm going to assume you've got the software installed fine, and what you do is just go File, Open, and select the data source that you want. So here I'm going to pull in the file up to October 2011. Later on we're going to update the scorecard with the second file. So you just click Open, and it'll take a second or two to pull the data into the tool. You just have to format the data into the right type. So this amount, which the user is spending, needs to be converted into a currency. This month information here, because it isn't in proper month format, I'm actually going to pull it through in string and then show you how to actually sort it, do a custom sort on that. So that's fine. And then we just click OK. So it just takes a second to pull it up. While it's doing that, I'll also make this file available on my website. So it'll be available at Analytics in Action /category /reporting, and just look for a post on Tibco, the first post. So that's automatically gone through and pulled the data in. So what it does is initially just make some assumptions about how the data is structured. So at the moment it's got the item information down the bottom, so we want to change that to month information. And as mentioned before, it's treating this as string, so it's actually sorted in alphabetical order. That's fine for the moment. And then at the moment it's got counts, so counts of the rows up the side. We want to change that so we've got basically spend by month. So that is then change that to amount. and we are going to also have category splitting each of these bars. So what it's to do that, it's as simple as dragging category across onto one of the bars and then across to the palette, and that palette then basically means that it will you will get two colors for each, for the plan and the usage. There we go. So what it's done is it's put the bars side by side. So to change that, we just right click and go stacked bars. So that is the basic structure of the bar chart. We'll just call this spend through time. I'll just call it spend by month actually. That's it. Okay, so the next step is to get these get the x-axis sorted out. So what we're going to do is apply pretty much a custom sort to that. So we just click Edit, Column Properties, and then we go Sort Order. It's a custom sort order. We're going to configure that. Oops. So just a sec. So we need to actually click this, on month, custom sort order, configure, and now basically we can just move things up and down until the structure is sorted out. So our first month is 2010 November, so I'll just move that to first, and then we can just move these move this up. So this will just requires a little bit of manual work, but it's all pretty much straightforward. Okay, so through the magic of a little bit of video editing, I've got that complete now. So that all looks good. So we just click OK, and that's all applied November, December. Great stuff. So the next thing we want to do is apply an average across the month, so we know what the average spend is. So to do that, we just pick a bar, right click on it, go Properties, Lines and Curves, and then we go Horizontal Line Average. So that is then throw on the line, then goes on. What we want to do is actually understand how much that is. We see that is probably about 2,700, but we want to click on the label and tooltip. So we click on value Y, click format, make sure it is change it from a number to a currency. It'd be good if it just automatically did that. Get rid of the decimal places. That should be it. So click OK. Okay, we want to actually put an say average on there as well. Got the name. Okay. Close. So that is the basic graphic that we start with. Okay, so the next step, we want to add another visualization. So we're going to add in a pie chart here. So that's going to be a pie chart. If I just look back to what the original was like, it's a pie chart by spend by department. So we just click on pie chart. It'll automatically throw in, as usual, as I did with the bar chart. It will just take a guess on what to create, what fields to include. So it's got the sum amount, so that's correct, but it's by item as opposed to department. We can also format these, lots and lots of sort of options here. So you can just right click it, properties, labels, and we can say, do we want to have, say, the category name, and do we want it on the inside or outside? Let's say on the outside, and let's close it up. So that is the pie chart. Now we're also going to have a spend by, let's have another quick look, spend by category as well here. So we just want to create another chart. We're going to right click that, turn it into a horizontal chart, and okay, that looks a bit funny because it's, it hasn't got the amount on there, it's got the row count. So we'll just go amount, and I'll jump across to to sum of the amount, we can quickly just we can rearrange all of these sectors in which the graphics are in. But for the moment, what I'll do is I'll just leave that, and we'll play around with the formatting at the end, because it's easier to do that once you've got your final number of graphics in place. So that all looks good. Now what we also want to do is have it so it is sorted in descending order and changes by color. Okay, so first of all we'll apply the sort by value. So we just right click on the bar, properties, then we go appearance, then we go layout, sort bars by value, done, and then we're going to change the color by item. There we go, and that's it. So that's very simple. So in the final graphic we want to add in another bar chart, and that is the spend by geography. So just drop that in there. We can then just give ourselves a little bit more space. The item has to be office. So there we go, we've got the splits there, and again we could color by office if we wanted to as well, but let's not worry about that for the moment. So really the next step is just about arranging the graphics. So we've got 4 graphics in here, and we can split it up 4 ways. It's as simple as just clicking like that. So that is pretty much it. And if you want to move them around, you just pretty much click the title and put it to the right hand side of something. So spend, we're going to move the pie chart down to the right hand side of spend by month. That will then jump across. But really what we want to do is have the pie chart up on top. But you've got lots of, just have a play around with it. It's fairly straightforward sort of stuff. And so what we'll do is we'll edit the names of these. So we'll just call this spend by office, close that. So here this graphic looks like the names are a bit bunched up here. So what you can do is you can hover over the edge of the graphic and drag it across, and that way you'll just automatically give the access titles a bit more space. So we'll call this spend by item. Basically with all this formatting, it is a classic GUI. It's a really nice graphical user interface where you can pretty much just click on something and format it. So here we're going to the axis, we're going to go properties, formatting, so access title, so that is a currency, and then what we want to do is play around with the category axis. We're going to make it vertical. Oops, sorry. We're going to play around with the value axis and make it vertical if we wanted to. Formatting, let's get rid of reduce decimal places and then close it. So that's pretty much it. All pretty simple sort of stuff. We can give this more space over here, and again we could rearrange the months with the properties as well. So that is pretty much the basics of the first page, and you can obviously give the first page a name. So we'll call it summary charges, and that is pretty much it. I think that covers off. Okay, so the only other thing is talking about filters on the page. So what happens is unless you specifically change the settings, the filters will apply to all the graphics. So for example, if we wanted to look at just the plan information, we can click off usage, and you can use combinations of filters as well. So obviously just filtered out everything there, and it's nice and snappy as well. What you can do also is change what the filters look like. Again, not surprisingly, right click, and we want to filtering scheme properties, so we can change, actually sorry, all wrong, organize filters. We can, here what we can do is we can turn filters off. Say if the amount slider filter there isn't relevant, we can turn that off, and then we can say change a tick box to a, say, a radio button. So again, we got lots of options around how everything appears. So that's pretty much the end of the first tutorial. Okay, so I'll just cover one final thing, and that's how to basically share this via the web. So all you need to do is go File, Save As, and you need to save it as a library item in order for it to share. Otherwise, it's held within a private sort of secure spot on your on the Tibco server. Just go Finish, and basically this will then okay, save it back up to the cloud. This will take a wee while for it to actually go through the saving process, but once it's gone through it, it'll then give us a URL to save to. So I just copy that link, and then we can just drop it into a browser, and then it becomes visible in the browser. So it just takes a little while for it to respond, but sort of it's all visible there. So we can just click on it, and like it takes a few seconds to respond, and there's a few things that influence that. Obviously, there's a response time on the server, but also there's obviously the internet connection that you're running through as well. But that's pretty much it. If you want to see the rest of the series on Tibco Spotfire and creating online scorecards, come across to my website and have a look under the reporting tab. There's also lots of other information on the site as well, so things about data preparation, modeling, predictive analytics, and you name it. There's lots and lots of useful information for business analysts and business intelligence folks.